Know if I want to accept this. This is what I've been accustomed to.
But let's start with the most basic. Oh, and if you're watching this, major spoilers. If you have not seen the movie, turn this off, go watch it. Do not complain to us in the comments that we didn't warn you. So the biggest controversy going in, something that I had issue with, and I continue to have issue with the movie itself, the fact that they retconned basically everything. I know it's not the first time they've done it. H2O did the same. But at least that kept Halloween 2. It kept the sibling connection between Michael and Laurie. How did we feel about them just getting rid of that here?
I think that was such a big piece of pop culture for them to erase. And I thought just everybody knew about the brother-sister relationship.
Like, even if you hadn't even seen the movies,
right.
It was part of the mythology.
But then I said to my own father, who I know has seen Halloween, I was like, yeah, in the new movie, they took out that they're no longer sisters, or no longer siblings. And he didn't know what I meant, and I had to remind him. So maybe not as many people as we think actually remember that, but I do think that's a pretty big piece of the franchise history to erase. And now we know why they took out 2 after seeing this movie, but I wanted at least 2 to stand. Hell, I wanted it to follow Resurrection and just say that Laurie was not dead and give her a proper send-off in that one classic branching timeline.
That was... Do we really want it to be in the same universe as Busta Rhymes, though?
I do, only to give...
Do we really?
Because at the end of that movie, Michael is obviously alive again. Do you want that to be the end of the one branching classic timeline? So you have 1, 2, H2O Resurrection. That could have gotten a proper send-off and a proper final film for Laurie Strode. Again, 1998 was only 20 years ago. How many people have already completely forgotten H2O? Like, we've already done the, wow, Jamie Lee Curtis came back. And I still think H2O did it better than the new movie.
Agreed.
It still bums me out to know that she's now talking bad on H2O when she originally gave it so much praise back when she originally filmed it.
If I recall, wasn't it her idea to do H2O in the first place?
Yes, but I think she worked out a deal with the Akkads and Miramax to where they said, or Dimension, or rather say, and they'll say, yes, we're bringing you back, and you're going to... Spoiler for those of you who haven't seen H2O, even though it came out 20 years ago. She cuts his head off with an axe, which, as far as I'm concerned, even though I've seen all the movies since, that is a fulfilling conclusion of that timeline.
It's a good ending.
I saw that in a drive-in theater. I'm like, all right, you really can't bring him back this
time. I think they originally told her.
Yeah.
They told her, they said, hey, we're going to bring you back probably. He's not really dead, and he's probably going to kill you. And that's where they said, hey. And then they killed her in Resurrection. Spoiler.
Didn't she also think Carpenter was going to direct H2O? Because he originally was in the running.
They did.
He wanted too much money. You should have given him whatever he wanted.
He's Carpenter. Why?
Yeah, even though Steve Miner did a good job.
But
Miner, horror icon.
The point is, going into this, the major issue I think erasing that created
Steve Major
was why is she important? So in this movie, she's paranoid. She's very clearly the victim of trauma. Now, in my opinion, and I'm sure you'll agree, Jamie Lee Curtis by far was the best part of this movie.
Yes.
She was awesome. She was badass.
She's Sarah Connor.
She was Sarah Connor. But it was awesome.
The three of them at the end together was great too.
That was cool.
Nice to see them bond.
So the biggest issue with retconning the fact that they're siblings is, why is Laurie so important to Michael in this one? The psychiatrist even says, maybe it was his pursuit of her that keeps him going. But why? If she's just some random person from 40 years ago.
Right, because they also used his sister Judith's name as the thing that triggered him. So the sister name is still there as the thing.
So then it's almost like it's almost like I was expecting them to reveal, actually, they are siblings. But they never do.
Right,
never do.
And I didn't think they would do that after they made such a big deal of not.
Is there a
doing
mindset that Michael has where it's just like, okay, I've reached this goal, let's move forward. Judith is gone. I've never conquered Laurie Strode. Move on from there to someone else.
He remembers her as the one that he didn't get to kill that
night.
But
how does he even recognize her 40 years later?
Well,
he's Michael Myers.
He's pure evil.
He has an
the
eidetic
boogeyman.
The boogeyman has an eidetic memory?
Yes.
Sure.
Well, remember Loomis, seeing through the wall, inhumanly patient, waiting for this night. Yeah. Well, he can wait another 40 years to get to the girl that got away.
Mm-hmm. If you went on a killing spree on Halloween night and killed 4 people and one got away, you'd remember them.
Here's something about, actually, the killing spree, and that I wanted to just tie this into H2O for a minute, why I still like H2O better in some regards. So, Halloween 1, with their 5 on-screen deaths and a dog, H2O had 5 people killed on screen. So, the new movie, Michael personally kills 16 people. So, the Michael Myers that has only killed 5 people, he's more than tripled his body count in one night in this movie. That's why he's kind of different if we were saying this is just the one
So
sequel.
If we're going to overlook Laurie Strode as the motivating factor, Michael's just motivated by pure evil and just wants to have a killing spree for the hell of it.
But he's not, because they play up the fact that he's coming to finish, he's after her. So by having them not be siblings, it kind of makes that make no sense.
Yeah, it just makes it unfinished business. But he remembers she was there the night he escaped. Also, they were going to change the opening, I read, where Loomis was going to shoot Michael, and then Michael was going to disappear, come back and kill Loomis. They were going to retcon the end of 1, and Laurie was the one that shot him out the window.
Okay.
So they're probably still working off of that script where she's the one. She did blind him, She stabbed him in the eye and stabbed him. He does remember that. Mm-hmm. I mean, she did inflict physical harm upon him.
So there's that. That said, Jamie Lee Curtis, she was awesome. Judy Greer, I like Judy Greer.
I like Judy Greer.
I thought
she was relatively useless until they fulfilled her one plot point near the end of the movie.
The whole finale, I loved. That is converging
great.
on the house. That was brilliant.
And the fire is why they can't use 2, because now we've done the same thing.
Was it an intentional girl power climax?
I think.
I know that they pump
probably.
up the final girl thing, but
I didn't see that at all.
I didn't either, but it could have been something they went with because it's unconventional where we have one final girl instead of 3 that happen to all be related where they can work together.
And they all.
Hey, how did we like James Jude Courtney?
Yeah, James Jude Courtney. What did you think of him, Dave?
How was his performance?
Oh, I don't know who that is.
You've seen it twice now.
They're going to.
He's Michael Myers.
He's Michael Myers in the couple of scenes where it's not Nick Castle now. You only see
the
the side of Nick Castle's face.
I know. I've seen him in Salem actually. He was signing stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can tell when it's him for just a couple of brief
scenes.
James Jude Courtney's the new Michael Myers. I thought he was going to be more Dick Warlock from 2, and he actually wasn't quite as robotic.
Not nearly as robotic.
What was the word you used?
He moved like an old guy.
He was very brisk with his movement.
Yeah, at least that was realistic.
So, it was like a swift stab.
This is geriatric Michael Myers.
Michael grew 5 inches. Oh, Michael's birthday, he'd be 61, the 19th.
Yes, it was the day that it came out. I don't know if that was planned. But let's say just a random death that they kind of threw in the trailer anyway. But let's just have it where Michael comes in, you see this woman just in her frame of her window. Michael just stabs her right to the neck.
It's
and it was very...
scene.
Yeah, essentially. But you could see the blade go through. Not only is it pushing up the gore that we were but it was just it wasn't nearly as mechanic, robotic as I'd like.
We assume he cut the throat in 2.
Yeah, he just kind of
That was one of the 2 references because there's the ham on the cutting board.
Yeah,
and
and the L rods.
I don't know my favorite reference. I have a soft spot for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I think it gets a bad rap.
It does.
It's a good movie.
We watched it before we went to go see Halloween.
But I love the Silver Shamrock mask that the kids were introducing. That was cool.
And people in the theater, someone goes, "Oh, Silver Shamrock." I like that people knew that.
That was a cool little reference.
Somebody even had a theory, even though we're going to call out the bullcrap. It's like, okay, if we're starting this franchise anew, but if you want to still kind of count the franchise from 4 to 8, say Michael Myers was an android created by Silver Shamrock to hunt down Laurie Strode.
The blonde one.
And his relatives.
Yes, the blonde one.
I'm like,
we need to start research on this right now.
Because I love Halloween 3 and 4. So I like that idea.
My only beef with Halloween 3 is another conversation for another day.
But back to this one. There's one name I'm going to throw out that I think I like this person. I did not like his work here. Danny McBride. He's funny. I like his work in other movies.
Writing. I was like, where was his cameo?
His writing.
I thought he was going to give himself a cameo, too.
Personally, I don't know a lot of Danny McBride's writing. I know a lot of people watch Eastbound and Down, but I loved Vice Principals. I thought it was hilarious.
I hear it's good.
I think it got by on its performances because Walton Goggins is a great character actor.
But his humor, it's so out of place. And
except for the little kid who was babysat. That was funny. Everything else, any attempt at humor was
I like that he got away.
Yeah.
And we don't see him again.
It was trying, over here, it's trying to be dark and gritty and intense, but then it's trying to also be ridiculously funny over here. And it just...
They all have funny moments. Like, all horror movies have those moments.
But they don't feel as out of place as this one does.
I don't know. Our natural inclination is to laugh during horror movies, and I feel like they all have it in some way.
It is, but it's more subtle, and it fits better with the tone. This... A good horror movie with good humor, the humor kind of helps to serve it. This one, I just feel like the humor took away from it. It detracted from it. And
I didn't honestly notice it too much.
So it bothered me. And maybe I'm getting old, but those teenagers were annoying.
Yeah, and
that's the point.
More annoying than
the tattoo of the night they lose their virginity. How lame was that? I turned to Alexandra Theater. I'm like, this dialogue is terrible. He's talking about
he's like, oh,
tonight's the night, baby.
Tonight's the night. I got a tattoo.
But we also talk about a really dumb, cheap scare that they try to push is when Allison gets back to Laurie's house after running back from Michael Myers killing the whatever the hell the friend's name was that was hitting on her in the devil costume. And there's this montage of her going, staring at the shot up mannequins. That was terrible. That was god-awful.
But still, though, that scene was followed up by, in my opinion, the coolest scene in the movie.
The climax is probably the best part of the movie.
When Michael comes at... Laurie's been knocked off the roof. Michael looks back, looks away, looks back. She's gone.
We knew that was coming.
That was awesome.
Spoiler, half-butted spoiler here for you Dork Daily fans who love Back to the Future. Officer Hawkins is playing the Back to the Future pinball game at the convenience store. That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
That was pretty great.
And that was also Universal bragging about the fact that they produced this now.
Yeah, after they finally wanted to acknowledge the franchise again after, how many movies that they didn't want to be attached to.
Can we talk about the other thing that I know we all didn't like? The stupid doctor twist.
First of all, I saw it
coming.
That?
You know how I knew it was coming? Because he didn't die in the bus. Why didn't he just kill him on the bus?
And he just happened to wake up when Michael's on a killing spree again. What kind of crap is that?
That was a Halloween 2 reference, by the way. He's not breathing and a scalpel is what cuts the throat.
That's cool,
That's a Halloween 2 reference. But when he put the mask on, I was like, oh, no, don't Roy Burns us for the rest of the movie.
Am I the only one that kind of wanted the rest of the movie to be him as the killer, limping around with his broken arm trying to kill people?
Yes, you're the only one.
That would have been hilarious.
I thought something was cool. It's something we've never done. We actually took off some of Michael's limbs. He lost fingers. That's pretty cool.
Yes, if he comes back, what does he have? This left, I think?
I think he lost
He lost these two, is what... So he has...
Oh, I thought I was looking at this. I thought he only had 2 fingers left. Okay. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Jamie Lee Curtis, best part of the movie.
Sure.
The whole third act, showdown.
I like Judy Greer.
Save for that mannequin
I
thing.
like Toby Huss, and he got off easy. He didn't get a particularly good death.
They pulled a weight on us. Halloween 4, the crappy boyfriend that you expect to die, and they don't fulfill that. Screw that guy. He should have died.
The first time you see Wade in Halloween 4, you are
he should have got the worst death.
That he's going to die a horrible death, and he doesn't.
If you guys get the context, he's that really stupid guy who's the friend of Brady in the pharmacy.
Yeah,
Screw
the
that
convenience
guy.
store. And what is our Halloween 5 reference again? Something subtle we said. What is the main reference? Because there's something of every movie in some small way.
Yeah, I don't remember.
What is the
We
Five
talked about it
reference?
last night, but I forgot.
You're like, oh, maybe that's it. Why can't we remember now?
There was a
I've seen it once so
resurrection
far.
reference?
I'm sure if we look somewhere in that movie, I think every movie somehow got a tiny little nod
Yeah.
in some way.
Yeah, I'd have to.
It's a lot of like 1, 2, and 3. A little bit of 4 in there.
I actually watched it again this morning just for this podcast.
Yeah, I've only seen it once, but I've seen every other sequel countless.
I
I probably
did-
watched Resurrection 15 times.
I liked it better the second time. I'll say this.
I'm glad. Well, where do you put on your list now? Did you move it up from like 8th?
My best way to describe it is, as far as going back to the series years later, H2O is a better overall movie than this
I
one
agree.
was. But Jamie Lee Curtis was better in this than she was in H2O.
If
They
you like
both
the
had
Sarah
good
Connor
climaxes
version-
with the two of them. I found H2O to be more fulfilling, and I would have been fine with
And
the
it had the
franchise
smaller body
ending
count.
there.
It felt
But
like Halloween.
If they were to keep
1.
it going, I'm fine with that.
1, 2, 4, H2O.
But-
1, 2, H2O, 4.
I'm still not putting it above the Rob Zombie one.
That's another video where we just tell you why those are terrible movies. You need the narrative to beat you over the head. You just like the generic serial killer character. This is a whole other movie. I'm gonna get all upset again.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the movie and hope you enjoyed us talking about it. Check out our definitive rankings of the Halloween series. Please feel free to agree, disagree, or yell at us in the comments for how terrible our opinions are. It's something that we've been arguing about all night. So thanks and goodbye.